Hey Justin, I'm back again with another video. I have the staging area for the disaster relief behind me, if you can see. That is the Altadena disaster I'm referring to. Those are trucks that are from the electrical company. They are trucks that are, oriented toward fixing the destroyed electrical grid. And we are in the JPL parking lot, Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California. This is the Arroyo. I don't think I've ever filmed here before. It's one of those beautiful places in Southern California. I am purposefully avoiding the disaster area. I didn't expect to see these guys down here today. I didn't know that they were using the parking lot as a staging area. It's a big auxiliary lot that JPL has for, I don't know, overflow or whatever. But hikers and people who come down here are able to park there, which is nice. But today it's full of trucks that are fixing the electrical grid. So, I'm avoiding, like I said, I'm avoiding the disaster. It's so morbid and sad to think of all that destruction. The whole place still smells like smoke, and I'm just trying to keep my mind off it. And I'd rather not film any of it. The house across the street from me burned down, and I get to look at that every day and smell it, and it's just demoralizing. And you even have some survivor's guilt for, why wasn't it my house? Anyway, one of the things that I've been obsessing over recently is the availability of affordable houses across the globe. And one of the things I always do on these videos is talk about alternatives to Southern California, because the prices are so high here. And it's not, if incomes were so high, super high, it wouldn't matter, but they're not. The relationship of income to home price is not good in Southern California. It's, 6 to 1, 7 to 1 annual salary, average annual salary to average home price is something like 6 or 7 to 1, which is just not healthy for any community, any economy. There they go. You see, making a lot of noise up there. They're filing out to take care of, try to put Altadena back together. Anyway, what I've been looking at recently is Italy. I've done videos from Cincinnati, Ohio. I've done a few of those where prices are about a third of what they are in Southern California. Now, and the thing is, incomes in Ohio are not a third of what they are. They're not as high as Southern California, but they're not 1/3. And but home prices are roughly 1/3 of what they are in Southern California. So that's one of those things where simply by moving to Cincinnati, Ohio, you can increase your standard of living quite dramatically. So it's cold, so wear a sweater and turn the heat up, big deal. I've done videos from Mountain Air, New Mexico, which is a similar situation. Home prices are probably a third or even less because there's very little economic opportunity. Cincinnati, Ohio, if you work at a bank in Southern California, you can probably transfer to Ohio. Your pay will be the same or maybe a little less. I'm not sure how that works, but you're making almost the same amount of money, if not the same amount, and your cost of living is way down. Mountain Air, New Mexico is different in the sense that you do not have the economic opportunities. There's no jobs in Mountain Air, New Mexico. I would say home prices are roughly a quarter. There's another one going up the hill. I would say prices are roughly a quarter of what they are in Southern California. Well, but that reflects the lack of opportunities. I've done a video. My most recent video was from Phoenix, Arizona, where there's tremendous economic opportunity. In fact, I'd say there's probably more opportunity there than there is here, and home prices are a lot less, almost by a factor of 2 to 1. They're probably, maybe they're 50%, maybe they're 60% of what they are here. They're far less than they are here. Sorry if I'm a little off on these numbers, but I think I'm reasonably close. Just ballparking here, because it is, I mean, to some degree it is apples and oranges. People say, well, I want to live in Southern California. I don't want to live in Mountain Air, New Mexico. Well, that makes a big difference. If you're just absolutely not going to live in the hinterlands in the middle of nowhere, then you're just going to have to deal with the high costs here. The most recent thing I've been looking at is Italy. Now, Italy is a lot like Mountain Air in the sense that it doesn't have opportunity. There's incredibly little economic opportunity in Italy. It's going to be very hard for you to make money if you don't have money coming in. I think that Italy works for, the retiree, right? With the pension, with the Social Security. You've got equity in your home here. You got your house is worth $1 million or 2 million maybe, and you're in Southern California. You sell your house, you buy something in Italy for a fraction of what your house sold for, and you've got that little extra pile of money. Plus, you have let's say you have your pension or your Social Security or whatever, and then you can have a really nice life in Italy, very inexpensively, much less than Southern California, and life goes on, and you're in this 500-year-old or 1,000-year-old house, this beautiful antique house in this adorable neighborhood. I used to live in Italy, and I remember thinking, wow, I don't know how the economy works here, and I don't know what you do for employment. And I was young, I was a teenager, but I remember thinking, oh, this is a stunningly beautiful, magical place, but what the hell would you do here? Well, if you're retired, what would you do there? And you'd have a gin and tonic, and you'd go for walks, and that's something that's attainable. Looking at it now, I'm astounded. I don't know if you've heard about these $1 houses, €1 houses in Italy. Now, the Italian government is really making an effort to repopulate the country because there's just not enough people. Who knew that we would be in a situation where there simply are not enough people in an area that is as magical and special as Italy? It's particularly, and I'm particularly talking about the South, but there are low population zones all over Italy, but I think the South is particularly unpopulated, and it's particularly inexpensive for that reason. That you do not have the economic opportunities that you have in the north of Italy. So I've been doing a lot of research in the south of Italy, and I'm really amazed at what I'm seeing. Where if you are one of these, you're the retiree or the digital nomad person. I know there's a lot of talk about these people who can work from a computer and not have to show up for an office to a location, and that kind of sounds like the dream job, especially when you think in terms of going to a place like Italy. You can live in this beautiful, magical, medieval town on a hilltop, or in some really cool bigger city, and the prices are incredibly low. I've been doing research on this, and you look at them, these properties, and they're talking meter. They sell them by the meter. You say, well, this is 1,000 euros per meter. And I'm like, well, let me check on the math there. I know a meter is a lot bigger than a foot. I figured it was about 9 feet. Well, it turns out it's almost 11 feet. It's 10 3/4 of square feet in 1 meter. That's a big measurement, right? 1,000. I mean, you can spend. This would be on the really high end, but you can spend $1,000 a square foot in Sierra Madre, California, in the more desirable places in Southern California. And that's unusual. Usually it's 6, 7, 100, but it's a square foot. It's tiny relative to a square meter. So when you hear these numbers, $1,000 for a square meter or $1,500 for a square meter. It's an incredibly low price, and that's common. Now, if you go into the north of Italy, you're talking more like $2,000 a square meter, but still, that is a crazily low price. I mean, just think about, do the math on, $1,000 for a square meter. You're talking less than $100 a square foot. You would never, ever find that in Southern California, even the worst part of town. And that's not uncommon at all in southern Italy. And like I said, if you've been looking at the internet, you'll see these $1 or €1. By the way, a euro and a dollar are almost in parity. So €1 is almost $1. It's very close. So if I forget and call a euro a dollar or a dollar a euro, it doesn't matter because the exchange rate is about the same. So you see these €1 houses. I wouldn't recommend the €1 houses. I think the houses that are, because you're getting into an agreement, an arrangement with the state or the local municipality to, you're getting into an arrangement with them where you have to meet certain requirements. So what you can do is for €50,000 or 100 or 150 or 200,000, you can buy a really interesting fixer-upper, and can you imagine trying to find that in Southern California? It would be impossible. There's no such thing. There's so many people trying to flip houses here that anything that's even remotely low price, it gets snapped up immediately. So what my goal is, I keep thinking, what am I doing in this industry as a realtor? Can I be of any use? Because, I spent most of my life working with my hands, where I actually made things. I made things that had physical properties. I worked in the mannequin manufacturing industry, and I do sort of miss the satisfaction of making an actual object. Well, and I thought, well, how would I be useful in the, to do something really special and something that maybe was proud of? What would I do in the real estate industry? And I feel as though, if you ask me where would I want to be in 10 years, the idea of getting a lot of Southern California, either the digital nomad community or the retiree community, getting them over to Italy and repopulating some of these areas that really need people. That I think would be a wonderful goal. One of the things that I find about not so much in Arizona, but in places like Mountain Air and Cincinnati, you move there, it's kind of like urban pioneering. People are kind of excited that you're there. Where you go to places like Phoenix or Southern California, you're just another hungry mouth to feed. You're just more traffic on the road. You're not really celebrated for showing up. Where you go to a place that needs people, and that's a special thing, because you're doing this pioneering thing. You're repopulating a area that's damn near a ghost town, or there's just not enough people there. And these buildings, these fabulous antiques, are going to hell because nobody's taking care of them, because nobody has the wherewithal. There's just too many of these old properties, and not enough people and not enough money. So you come in there with your remote source of income, and that's key, right? You gotta have, apparently, in my little research I've done, there's virtually no way to make a living in Italy unless you really got some sweet deal sorted out for yourself. But you come in there with your remote source of income, and you start fixing up these properties, and they love it. It's like, well, yeah, we didn't want to live in a ghost town. We didn't want to see that property fall apart. Maybe you're a foreigner, you're different. But I think Italy has got a reputation for absorbing people who are, from a different culture and look a little different. And there doesn't seem to be much of a problem with that. And so you could be in this magical, beautiful place, antique, incredible build quality on these old buildings, incredibly low price. And apparently buying in Italy is not much different than buying here. The purchase process is very similar. So it's not like Italy is so exotic or so different that it's like you're on another planet. It's a lot like the United States. In fact, it looks a lot like Southern California. So So anyway, this video is getting kind of long. I'm going to end it here, but I'd like to know what you think. I mean, do you have any interest in moving to Italy? If you have the income, if you have the wherewithal, are you able to do that? I'd love to hear your comments, and because this is kind of what I want to do. I want to move forward on trying to work out arrangements with Italian realtors on how to get people who are, who are nervous about their economic situation. They're concerned. They don't know if they can afford to retire. Well, if you have some equity in your house, sell it, and you have a little retirement or a little something, you can get by in Italy. You can do well. You can live really nicely in Italy if you have a nice pension. Where you have a nice pension here, maybe it doesn't go as far as it was supposed to, because everything just seems to be hideously expensive here and getting worse. So anyway, this has been a long video. Thanks for watching if you're still here. I'd really appreciate your comments regarding what you think of being an expatriate, going to Italy, because this is kind of what I'm really excited about this, and I'm going to do a lot more research on this, and hopefully soon I'll be broadcasting from Italy. All right, have a good day, and thanks for watching. This is Justin, the Renegade Realtor from Coast West Real Estate and Next Level Properties. Bye-bye.